What is up, guys? I'm Hubsmash, and today I wanted to talk to you about some tactics for Rainbow Six Siege, specifically around peeking and clearing rooms. The ideas here can be applied to most shooters in some form or another, but players of slower, more tactical FPS games like Rainbow Six Siege or Counter-Strike Go are going to find it the most useful. The first thing we're going to cover is crosshair placement, and crosshair placement's important. And the reason it's important is because you want to minimize the amount of time or the amount of distance you need to move your crosshair before you are on somebody's face. And the reason you want to do that is because then you can make your shot faster than they can, theoretically, providing your aim is accurate enough. So what you want to do is basically walk around, even if you're not expecting resistance. You want to keep your crosshair at head level, and you want to make sure that no matter where you're going or what you're doing, you're ready for that headshot. And it's really that simple. But the other thing that you want to do is when you're rounding a corner, you want to keep your crosshair just on the outside of the wall. You don't want to be on the wall, and you don't want to be way out here, and you don't want to be down here, crossing like this. Some people do this by habit because the gun model gets in the way. So I think that they try to reduce that by going like that so they can see, and then they flick shot. That can work, but it's definitely not ideal. What you want to be doing is aiming like this, coming around the corner like that. And you want your sensitivity to be able to facilitate that movement. That's how you want to do it. But now that we've got crosshair placement out of the way, let's talk about entry points. So let's go over a bad entry point. Well, let's just talk about what entering a room that's not cleared and how you want to be aware of it. So basically, when you're entering a room that is not cleared, you want to be aware of the angles you could be attacked from and common hiding spots. And when I say angles, I just mean the angles at which you're vulnerable to enemy fire. Now, I mean, in Rainbow Six Siege, if I was standing in this room, I'm pretty much vulnerable from everywhere, right? That makes this room a bad place to be. You do not want to be in this room just because there could be guys up here all over the place. There could be guys in there, and there could be guys over here. And if I'm trying to defend myself from attacks, I just can't do it properly or effectively, right? So this makes this a bad entry spot because when you're trying to clear, right, you're going to come through this way and you're going to look and you're going to try and figure out what's over here. And then you're going to come around and now you've exposed yourself to angles here and up here simultaneously. And you cannot defend yourself from two angles at one time. So that's definitely something that you want to avoid. Now, it's not likely that somebody's standing right here, but it could happen. Either way, when you get to this area and you start to clear up here, you're going to have people that could be up here or in here, and that's totally likely. As far as a good entry point might be somewhere like maybe back here, where you can basically enter and clear this side, clear this, and then clear up here. You'd still want to peek like that, but basically you can. Now this is a bad example too because you can, as you're coming out, although you can clear that, you can clear up here and then clear this way, and then come across and clear like that. Now, so that's just something you want to keep in mind. You want to be aware of the angles and you want to minimize the angle exposure. So now let's talk about slicing the pie and how it works in Rainbow Six Siege with Peeker's Advantage. So you may not have heard of slicing the pie and what that is, but basically imagine a top-down view of you and your opponent. You know what? Let's actually draw a little picture. That's you, and your opponent is, this is you here, and your opponent is on this side of the wall, right? This is the wall here that goes across, and your opponent is right there, right? So as you come around, you want to come around in a circle like that. The pie is where you guys intersect. That's the slice. So as you come around the corner. Now, if that makes no sense, I'm sorry. I don't know why I decided to just shoot the floor to do that, but whatever. Basically, you want to clear the corner on a wider angle. So let's imagine that there's a dude here. He's sitting right there and he's ready for me. When I'm coming around this corner, I want to clear the wide angles first because I don't know that over here is clear. And it may not be clear. So I want to clear all this first. I want to keep my crosshair here. And as I come down, like that, I want to be aware of where he might be. Now, if you have your crosshairs around here, you have to be careful because if he's crouched right in the corner, he's going to be kind of tough to see with this specific weapon model. But if you're doing something like this, it's a lot easier, right? And that's what you want to do. You want to slice the pie. You want to do it slowly, and you want to look. Now, the difference is in Rainbow Six Siege, there's Peeker's advantage, and the Peeker's advantage is more significant in Rainbow Six Siege than I've noticed in other FPSs, although it is something that exists in all networked multiplayer games. Yes, even on LAN, Peeker's advantage exists, and the reason it exists is due to latency. Basically, the way Peeker's advantage works is that the Peeker gets a glimpse of the peekee, the person being peeked, briefly, very briefly, we're talking milliseconds, before the person being peeked can see the peeker. So as I come around, there's a brief moment in time where I see him and he has not yet seen me. And you want to take advantage of that. So as you're clearing the corner, you want to come around and you want to be doing this. And each time exposing more of the area you're trying to clear. That way, that if you do happen to pop out and see him, you're going to gain your Peeker's advantage on him and you'll be able to take him out. Hopefully you'll be able to win that firefight and take him out. So it's for that reason when you're peeking anything at all, you want to be moving. At the very least, you want to be crouched. I know that sometimes this is way too loud, right? People will know exactly where you are all the time in Rainbow Six Siege. You want to be down like this at least if you're on louder, like tile, things like this. If you're on carpet, it sounds a lot different. A lot more muffled. You can get away with standing up sometimes on carpet. So that's it, I think. If you like this video, click that like button if you found it helpful. I'd really appreciate it. It helps out the channel. And if you want to see more stuff on Rainbow Six, consider subscribing. Thanks so much, guys, and take care.